وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ولا تقربوا الزنا إنه كان فاحشة ومقتا وساء سبيلا وقال جل وعلا والحافظين فروجهم والحافظات صدق الله مولانا العلي العظيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما صلى الله على النبي الأمي وآله صلى الله عليه وسلم صلاة وسلاما عليك يا سيدي يا حبيبي يا رسول الله صلى الله تعالى عليه وآله وسلم اللهم لا سهل إلا ما جعلته سهلا وأنت يا حي يا قيوم تجعل الحزن إذا شئت سهلا اللهم يا كريم أكرمنا بنور الفهم وأخرجنا من ظلمات الوهم ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Inshallah Azza wa Jal. Today we will commence the 183rd covenant from the Muhammadan covenants Lawaqihul Anwar Al-Qudsiya fi Bayan Al-Uhud Al-Muhammadiyya. Like all the topics mentioned in this kitab, this is another important subject that and a matter that he deals with, and that is to protect our chastity, to maintain our chastity, to protect the amana which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us, and not to even go near the muqaddimat, the preliminary stages that may lead a person towards engaging in an illicit relationship. To stay clear from all those things and to protect one's chastity, शर्मगाह की हिफाजत करना और तमाम उन कामों से बचना कि जो हो सकता है आदमी को गुनाह में मुलव्विस करे, इसके मुतालिक आज इंशाल्लाह गुफ्तगू की जाएगी. And this beautifully ties in with inshallah azza wa jal the essence of fasting, because inshallah, as you know, Sha'ban, this is the first of Sha'ban al-Mu'azzam. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam used to fast the most in any other month apart from Ramadan. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam used to fast the most in the month of Sha'ban. And obviously it is the month of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Sha'ban Nabi Karim sallallahu alayhi wa sallam का महीना है, और इसी महीने में वो सूरत अल-अहज़ाब की मुबारक व मसऊद आयत नाज़िल हुई, इन्ना अल्लाह व मलाइकतहु युसल्लूना अला नबी يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما صلى الله على النبي الأمي وآله صلى الله عليه وسلم صلاة وسلاما عليك يا رسول الله. This verse, which encourages and incites and rather instructs the believers to send blessings and peace and benedictions upon the Prophet ﷺ, was revealed in this very month. Chastity and fasting go hand in hand. Because what did the Prophet ﷺ say? Inna shaytana yajri min al-insani majra dam. Satan circulates around the human body. Satan circulates around the human body like blood. Yani Satan circulates around the body of a human being in all the places and all the channels through which your blood is circulated. Yeah? And then the Prophet ﷺ said, sever the ways in which Satan can influence you, sever his influence by fasting, by abstaining from eating and drinking. Okay? शैतान इंसान के जिस्म में खून की जगहों पर गर्दिश करता है. जिस आसानी के साथ सर से लेकर के पांव तक हमारा खून गर्दिश करता है जिस्म में, इसी तरह शैतान भी गर्दिश करता है. तो उसके असर को और उसकी तासीर को ख़त्म करो रोज़ा रखने के साथ. रोज़ा रखने के ज़रिए शैतान के असरात को ख़त्म करो. आप यूँ ही भी देखें कि जो शख्स रोज़ा रखता है उसके अंदर शहवात नफ्सानिया कम हो जाती है. He doesn't have the urge and he is not insinuated by the Satan as much as he would be if he was eating and drinking. Because what Imam Al-Ghazali rahimahullah mentions is when the when the stomach is satiated, when the stomach is full, all the members of the body become hungry. And the hunger of the eye is to look at that which is haram. The hunger of the hands is to touch that which is haram, or to take that which is haram. The hunger of the ear is to listen to that which is haram. That is when your stomach is full. But when your stomach is empty, all of the members are satiated. They do not urge you, they do not provoke you towards or incite you towards committing sin. And unfortunately, as it is, and as you must have heard on the news as well, na'udhu billah, the very sorrowful and very heart-rendering incident in relation to our sister, our youngest sister, because obviously all Muslims we all a community in the Indian administered part of Kashmir, Asifa, who was subjected to rape, gang rape, and she was then, na'udhu billah, made shaheed, martyred. The same happened in not long ago in Pakistan with an 8-year-old girl known as Zainab, and actually it even happens in this very country of ours. Gang rapes, grooming. We talk about Rochdale, Rotherham, Oxford, happening in London. Incidents that we see day in and day out on the news, Muslims on the front page. وَلَا حَوْلَ وَلَا قُوَّةَ إِلَّا بِاللَّهِ. And this is why it's very, very important for us to understand how to maintain our chastity, and it is also very important for us, and if we can, to read the works of Imam Al-Azhari rahimahullah, because he actually identifies the problem and he also gives practical, effective solutions to those problems. Namely, the chapter within his magnum opus Ihya Ulumuddin, Kasru Shahwatain, breaking the two desires, gluttony and obviously the sexual desires. And there is obviously now, within the government, there's something that they call child exploitation, CSE, the child sexual exploitation, which is obviously sexual abuse of the child, and it is a grave crime, and there are serious repercussions and consequences for that. But Islam, obviously, what does Islam say? Islam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala clearly said in the Quran, وَلَا تَقْرَبُوا الزِّنَا. Allah didn't say do not commit adultery or do not engage in illicit relationships. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says وَلَا تَقْرَبُوا, which means don't even go near. Yani haram kari और गुनाह और जिना के करीब भी न जाओ. तो इसकी तफसीर में क्या उलमा बयान फरमाते हैं? इसका मतलब ये है कि आदमी अपनी निगाहों को पाकीज़ा रखे, अपने कानों को पाकीज़ा रखे, अपनी खलवतों को पाकीज़ा रखे. कहीं ऐसा ना हो कि वो किसी अजनबिया के साथ तन्हाई में बैठे, किसी गैर महरम औरत के साथ कलाम करे, गुफ्तगू करे बगैर शरई हाजात के और शरई हुदूद को पामाल करते हुए उससे बातें करे. Because there are grave consequences. The Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, لا يخلون رجل بامرأة إلا كان ثالثهما الشيطان. No man sits in isolation with a woman, no man sits in a khalwa with a woman on her own, غير محرم obviously, except that the third is Satan, i.e. Satan influences them both. So we should steer clear from all of these situations also and places where there may be a chance for Satan to influence us. Okay? And unfortunate as it is, this is a day of great fitan. These are days of great fitan. This is a time of great fitan. Fitan at our doorstep, fitan at our fingertips. Things that were very difficult for a person to do or accomplish. And talking about sins here, sins are now coming to us right in front of us, okay, right in our faces. May Allah protect all of us. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't just say don't engage in illicit relationships. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cuts it from the root. Allah says وَلَا تَقْرَبُوا الزِّنَا. Don't even come close to sin. Don't even come close to those things which may lead a person to committing adultery or illicit relationships. Islam talks about ihtiyat and precaution measures, and Islam talks about that there's a legal maxim, there's an usulul fiqh, there's a qa'ida fiqhiyya, qa'idatun fiqhiyya, the fiqhi rule, dar'ul mafasidi muqaddabun aw awla min jalbil masalih. Avoiding danger and peril is better and muqaddam, and it comes and is given precedence to gaining benefit. You have to avoid the danger to gain benefit. You don't take benefit without avoiding danger. That is why the ulama mentioned on a broader level, what we need to do in order for us to become pious and good obedient servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not to do a lot of good deeds. We should do a lot of good deeds, but what is most important is to avoid sin. Avoiding sin will automatically make you pious and God-fearing and close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So and there is also saddu dhara'i, closing all the routes and the channels which may lead to something being haram. This is why obviously Islam declares the grave sin of looking at that which is haram. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in one hadith, anyone who looks at something which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prohibited, okay, a thing or a person, then it is the poisonous arrow of Satan which he thrusts into the heart. Yani, when a person looks at something which is haram, he casts his gaze to something which is haram. He has unrestricted gaze. He looks everywhere and anywhere. Then Satan uses this method in order to take out the sweetness of Iman from our hearts. That's why when we pray namaz or recite the Quran, there is no effect. We fast the days of Ramadan, we perform Hajj and Umrah, we give Zakah, we do all the things which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has instructed us to do, yet we do not feel the sweetness in these acts of worship. Yet we do not maximize the benefit that we can derive from these acts of worship. Why? Because we do not avoid sin. Avoiding sin is the first step. So he says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, أُخِذَ عَلَيْنَا الْعَهْدُ الْعَامِ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ صَلَى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَآلِهِ وَسَلَّمَ أن نحفظ فروجنا عما لا يحل لنا مباشرته من فرج ومفاخذة لذكر أو أنثى أو تقبيل لذلك بشهوة محرمة. We have to protect. This covenant has been taken from us, which reaches the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that we protect our private parts, and guard our private parts from all those things which are impermissible for us to do and to have physical contact with, be it a private organ of someone or the thigh of someone, of a male or a female, or to kiss someone with shahwa muharram, which is unlawful desire, provoked by an unlawful desire. فَإِنَّ مَنْ حَامَ حَوْلَ الْحِمَى يُوشِكُ أَنْ يَقَعَ فِيمَا حَرُمَ عَلَيْهِ. Obviously this mubashara with the mufakhadha and with the thigh obviously would be in relation to the time when obviously a woman is in the special days, in the menstrual cycle, obviously where a person is not allowed to have shahwa in those areas, because the Prophet ﷺ then said, فَإِنَّ مَنْ حَامَ حَوْلَ الْحِمَى يُوشِكُ أَنْ يَقَعَ فِي مَا حَرُمَ عَلَيْهِ أَوْ حُرِّمَ عَلَيْهِ. The one who walks close to the hudud, the things which have been made haram by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is very close that he will fall and indulge into that sin. He will commit that haram. The Prophet ﷺ gave that, this is the excerpt from a hadith. The Prophet ﷺ said in a hadith, إِنَّ الْحَلَالَ بَيِّن وَإِنَّ الْحَرَامَ بَيِّن. Halal is absolutely clear, haram is absolutely clear. What is lawful is clear, what is haram is clear. وَبَيْنَهُمَا مُشْتَبِهَاتٍ. Between halal and haram there is the grey area, which is known as mushtabihat, the doubtful, the area of doubt. Okay? Then the Prophet ﷺ said, فَمَنِ اتَّقَى الشُّبَهَاتِ اسْتَبْرَأَ لِدِينِهِ وَعِرْضِهِ. The one who stays clear from even the doubtful things, he has protected his honor, he has protected his piety, he has protected his deen. And he stays on, there's a pastoral land that belongs to you, a grazing field that belongs to you. Yes? And there's your next door neighbor's farming land. And there's a certain strip of land in the middle, which is also part of yours and also part of your neighbor's. But the Prophet ﷺ said, allow your animals to graze in the halal part, away from the boundary, away from the strip of land which is sandwiched in between. Because what will happen, if you allow your flock of sheep to graze close to the strip of land which is sandwiched between your land and the land that belongs to your neighbor, then it is very close that your flock of sheep will move on to your neighbor's land, and it will also devour their grass, which is obviously haram. So therefore the Prophet gave an example, steer away from shubhat, even stay away from shubhat, be on this side, on the furthest on this side of halal, so that you stay away from even the doubtful things. Why? So that it can be a means of you not engaging in the unlawful things. But if someone engages in the doubtful things, okay, it will lead the person towards the unlawful things as well. Okay, these are the precaution measures that Islam has implemented in many aspects of the deen, in many aspects of Sharia. Okay, this is why he then says, وَمِنْ هُنَا حَرَّمَ غَالِبُ الْعُلَمَاءِ الْإِسْتِمْتَاعَ بِمَا بَيْنَ السُّرَّةِ وَالرُّكْبَةِ لِلْحَائِضِ. It is for this reason the majority of the ulama have deemed it haram for a man, for the husband, to touch or to touch with shahwa any part of his body against the part which is between the navel and the knees of a woman when she is on the menstrual cycle. Because obviously, what is it? It may be that that person is in a state of shahwa, and he may, na'udhu billah, engage in intimacy with the wife in that state in which it is haram for that person to do so. And there's a hadith from the Prophet ﷺ that anyone who is intimate with his wife in those days, Allah's wrath is on that person. Allah expresses His anger. So why did the ulama mention this? As a precaution measure. Don't even touch that area. So you don't even go. It's a no-go area. Sahih? Yeah? So steer clear from even things which may tempt you to go towards haram. Completely stay away from that, that strip of land. Remember that example that the Prophet ﷺ said. Then the Prophet ﷺ said, وَمَنْ وَقَعَ فِي الشُّبَهَاتِ وَقَعَ فِي الْحَرَامِ. The one who engages in shubhat, in the doubtful things, he will most definitely he will most definitely commit the unlawful. كَالرَّاعِي يَرْعَى حَوْلَ الْحِمَى يُوشِكُ أَنْ يَقَعَ فِيهِ. Like the shepherd who allows his flock of sheep, his cattle, to graze very close to that strip of land which is between his land which belongs to him and the land which belongs to his neighbor. If he allows the flock of sheep to graze in that land which is in the middle, they will most definitely go there, to the no-go area, no-fly zone. Okay? So this is the beauty of Islam. Beauty of Islam in many aspects. And he also gives another example. وَحَرَّمُوا قَطْرَةَ الْخَمْرِ وَإِن لَمْ تُسْكِرْ. Islam and the Quran and the Sunnah makes even the consumption of one drop of alcohol as haram. Even if you got 0.0001% of alcohol, what's the ethanol, isn't it? In medicine, it is haram. Even though it may not be muskir, 0.001% is not to the level of intoxication. But even then, Islam has said it's haram. Because once you start, you may not be able to stop. The Pringle effect. And obviously a person becomes intoxicated. Yeah? مَا أَسْكَرَ كَثِيرُهُ فَقَلِيلُهُ حَرَامٌ. Whatever in its plentiful form, in its abundant form, becomes intoxicant, then its little amount is also haram. This is ihtiyat that Islam is giving us, so that we steer completely away from the unlawful. Yeah? Another example that he gives, وَحَرَّمُوا عَلَى الصَّائِمِ تَنَاوُلَ مِقْدَارِ أَقَلِّ مِنْ سِمْسِمَةٍ وَإِنْ لَمْ تُؤَثِّرْ فِيهِ ثَوْرَانَ الشَّهْوَةٍ. A person who is in the state of fasting is not permitted to eat even a sesame seed. तिल का दाना भी नहीं खा सकता है. तिल कितना होता है, कितना छोटा होता है. अगरचे उससे शहवत का कोई असर नहीं होता है. It does not provoke and incite shahwa into the mind, into the heart. Still, Islam forbids a person fasting to eat a sesame seed, because if he eats it, chalo, it doesn't have the effect. Let me have a few more, and then obviously he then starts eating, and then he, na'udhu billah, openly eats and drinks and rebels against the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to fast. Okay. Another example that he gives, وَحَرَّمُوا عَلَيْهِ الْقُبْلَةَ وَلَوْ شَيْخًا. And even for the person fasting, even if he is old aged, the Quran and the Sunnah forbids that person to kiss, even if it's halal for him to kiss the person in other than the days of fasting. The wife, for example. Okay? Why? Because obviously the qubla may lead to something else which is haram. Intimacy in the state of fasting is haram. Okay? So all of these things are known as وَيُسَمَّى ذَلِكَ تَحْرِيمُ الْإِحْتِيَاطِ. All of these things are known as making things unlawful as a precautionary measure, which comes back to the legal maxim دَرْءُ الْمَفَاسِدِ خَيْرٌ مِنْ جَلْبِ الْمَصَالِحِ. Avoiding the danger is more beneficial and is muqaddam, and is given preference to taking benefit or deriving benefit. You should avoid danger. There are many aspects of the Sharia, if you read, where Islam has given us ihtiyat. Ihtiyat, for example, also in waiting for iftar time. Don't rush. And yeah, but obviously as soon as it's the time of iftar, you break. Suhoor as well, ihtiyat. So that we do not do something which is unlawful. Yeah, we do not start to eat and drink in the time in which it is the time of fasting. Okay, so all of these things are there for ihtiyat. وَنِعْمَ مَا فَعَلُوا. And then he says how good is what they have done. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to follow this inshallah, and we will continue with this next week. بِإِذْنِ تَبَارَكَ وَتَعَالَى وَمَا عَلَيْنَا إِلَّا الْبَلَاغِ. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.